Hi friends. Today I come at you from the green couch. Yes, the same green couch that I feature in my cover art. So if you've ever wondered, what does the green couch mean? It's the green couch from my childhood home. I'm currently in Osaka in my grandma's house, and this couch has a lot of sentimental meaning to me. I've had many naps here, and I've also had many hard conversations with my mother on this couch, most of which were actually just stemming from naughty things that I was doing as a young kid. However, this is actually my second time recording this podcast. The first time the mic was turned off and I recorded for an hour. I loved everything I said, but I could not stand the audio quality, so I'm refilming it, hopefully with more concise thoughts because it's my second time around. Knowing me, it will probably still be quite all over the place. But let's get to it. Expensive shit that I think are worth it. I just had to double check if the mic was on. It is on. We are sounding crisp, but let's get into it. The first thing that I think is absolutely worth it is actually more of a concept rather than a thing. We'll get into things later on, but the idea of exploration of hobbies, scents, makeup, skincare, whatever it may be. Exploration, although it's expensive and costs a lot of money and time and energy, the value of finding something that you like and works for you will save you a lot of energy and agony and time and enhance your life in the long run. I categorize this to hobbies, scents, and makeup because that's just something I have spent a lot of time exploring. Within, I'd say, the 8 or 9, maybe a decade that I've been dancing as a hobby. I've been working professionally as a dancer for 2 years, I want to say. Although it was quite fulfilling, the career, it definitely took my spark away from dance. I love the job itself, don't get me wrong. I loved dancing, I still do, I still dance as a hobby. But when my hobby became a job, a lot of external aspects were now introduced to dancing. For example, management or pay, salary, studio fees, relationships with other dancers. It wasn't just me enjoying dancing anymore. And I think that tainted my passion for dance. So I have taken a step back from it recently to explore different hobbies. I've always been a creative kid. Like, I was always making weird stuff out of cardboard, and I had a slime business and whatnot, loom bands were my shit. So I always knew I liked arts and crafts. So I've definitely been reconnecting with a lot of that. But I think it's so important, especially once you become an adult, to actually spend time intentionally finding hobbies that enhance your passion for, being alive or your everyday. Because we're in a social climate where we're encouraged to monetize whatever we can. And it's important to remember that you don't actually have to monetize everything that brings joy to you. You don't have to monetize everything that you can. It's fine to like something and just have it be that. And it's also fine not to be amazing at something. It's fine to have hobbies that you're not amazing at and that you just enjoy. Some examples of this for me is baking. I'm, not to toot my own horn, but I'm an excellent cook. But baking, I'm quite bad at, but I really enjoy it. So I have spent a lot of time and I found myself baking quite a lot in the past year. I also enjoy trying different makeup looks, trying different hairstyles. Today, in the past year, I have now realized the appeal of slick back hair. I've also found that I really enjoy doing other people's makeup, just for fun. I've also enjoyed shoes. Trying shoes, buying shoes, making shoes. These hobbies do not bring a cent into my bank account, but it has brought value in other ways. My happiness. This portion of the podcast is sponsored by Hey Sherry. Sherry, isn't that your own business? Why, yes it is. Hey Sherry is an all-in-one platform where you can find hidden gems, insider tips, and local secrets, all provided by a local Japanese. You can find activities, insider information, and things that you wouldn't find anywhere else on any other travel platform besides Hey Sherry. So if you're planning a trip to Japan, I would definitely recommend checking Hey Sherry out. Thank you again, Hey Sherry, for sponsoring this portion of the podcast. I've been reigniting my passion for dance recently. And I think I was only able to do that because I took a step back from it. And I'm so grateful that that's the way it panned out, because if I were to just continue as a dancer, I would have never had this career. I would have never met you guys. I would have never had my marketing office woman career that I had briefly. I would never had a lot of the experiences that I've learned a lot from in the past couple months that I've taken time off from dance. So I'm grateful that it panned out the way it did. I'm grateful of all the things that happened because of my dormant dance career. Now I'm able to also see the beauty that dance brought into my life and the creative fulfillment that it brought into my life. So I've been intentionally trying to reintegrate that into my daily, monthly, weekly routine. You know, going back to classes, jamming with friends, just training, because it still brings me so much joy. You know, going out to dancing, going to dance classes, choreographing with friends, it's one of my greatest joys in life. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to re-implement that into my life. All that to say, if you are a high schooler listening to this, if you are a middle schooler listening to this, I know I have a little bit of a younger audience than me. So I think this is an important thing for you guys to hear. Whatever it is that brings you joy, whatever activity ignites your soul, never let go of it. No matter if it brings you money or not when you're an adult, no matter what people tell you, never let go of it, because that is your anchor to reconnect with your own life and your own soul. Not to sound woo-woo or anything, when you are amongst the hustle and bustle of business, when you're amongst adults and people that are trying to stretch you to the thinnest that you could possibly be, and you're overwhelmed with the stress of adulthood, these things that brought you joy when you were younger is the thing that will bring you back to life. If you are a creative gal, never let go of that. If you are a musically gifted or not gifted and you just enjoy it, kid, never let go of that. And if you ever feel like you have lost your spark as an adult, this will be your golden ticket to take a step towards reconnecting with your own life and actually feeling joy again. That's what I have experienced in my last couple years and months of working. Another thing that I have explored a lot of is scents. More specifically, signature scents. I've never been one to follow trends. Now, I'm not saying this to sound cool or unique. I was always so adamant about disliking things that are trendy when I was younger. Whenever some toy or food or clothing item was trendy, I would do the exact opposite. I was patient 001 of not being like the other girls, unironically. And I think that kind of, fostered its way into my adult life, where I don't like doing things, or I don't like having things that everybody has. And I have a hard time grasping why people love trends so much and love following trends so much, because I've never enjoyed that. Not to say I'm living the correct life or they are. I'm just saying that's just not what I like, and that's fine. They like what they like, I like what I like. That's what makes us different. That's what makes the world interesting, yada yada yada. I think smells and people's scents are such a big part of their identity and your first impression of them when you first meet people. There's this one dancer in New Zealand that I wholeheartedly respect. Not only is she a beautiful dancer and talented dancer, she's also, very educated and very smart and well-spoken. She also has such a signature, unique scent to her, to where you can be on the opposite side of the establishment of any function, and as soon as she walks in, you will know, because her smell is so distinct and iconic. She was definitely the driving force in me beginning my perfume journey. When I asked her what she wore, she told me she wore a body spray from Lush. And prior to this, I've never looked into Lush for perfumes. I've always heard about the Baccarat Rouge. I've always heard about the Good Girl. I've always heard about Black Opium. And although I liked how it smelled, I I tell you, I didn't like the fact that everybody had it. So I went to many different perfumeries. I've tried different little perfumes that I buy on like the side of the road so that I know nobody would have the same thing. I sound insane, I know, but it's just something that brings me a lot of joy when I have something that not everybody has. I'm sorry, that's just how I am. Like, sue me, okay? And it's not to show off or anything. It's just that I like that I smell like me and not other people. So with this new information that Lush perfumes smell so strong and so unique, I took myself to a Lush store when I came to Japan, and I had a little bit of money. I bought myself I don't even want to tell y'all because I don't want it to be like viral. Not to say that I have that impact. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't need to explain myself. You get me. But I found this body spray from Lush that I will be gatekeeping. Actually, no, I'll tell you because I love you and you've done so much for me. It's called the Yognog by Lush. It's a body spray. It comes in a spray bottle. Very unique packaging. I don't necessarily love it, but is it unique? Yes. To me, it smells like a warm vanilla donut with a hint of butterscotch and a hint of, I want to say, like cream, like custard. It's very gourmand. I was never one to like gourmand, but when I smelt it on a lady walking past me at the airport, I was just taken back with how delectable she smelled. And I caught myself looking back at her, and I thought to myself, I want people to look back at me. It was love at first sniff, to be honest with you. I sprayed it on myself and thought, that's the one. I want that one. I bought it. It was more expensive than what I was comfortable with. I say this because I am not the biggest fan of spending money on boring things. I am not the biggest fan of spending money on things that are not that exciting. I love to splurge on groceries. I love to splurge on gifts for my friends and my family and taking care of them and, dinners and whatnot. But when it's stuff like skincare or, things like that where it's not super fun, I have a way tighter budget for that. So did it hurt me to spend this amount of money for a body spray? Yes. But the body spray perfume has exceeded its value in comparison to the time I spent to earn that money. So absolutely no regrets. Super, super, super glad that I bought it and that I took the time to try different scents to lead me to that one unique little bottle of deliciousness that I wear constantly. I haven't gone a day without putting it on my body since the day that I bought it. I'm pretty sure if I skipped a day or two, I would still smell like it because it's just so strong. So if you've ever, wondered what Sherry smells like, because I know everybody, it's like a casual everyday question. Is the sun out? What does Sherry smell like? You know what I mean? So if you've ever wondered that question, go into your nearest Lush store, spray some Yognog in the air. That's what Sherry smells like. And I think I just think the idea or the concept of having a signature something, whether it be a signature perfume, a signature hairstyle, a makeup look, a style, I think is so chic and makes someone so cool. Whenever, like, I have a friend that always wears black. It doesn't matter the occasion, she will always wear black, and I think that makes her super, super, super cool. I have another friend that always wears red lipstick, no matter the occasion, and I think she's super cool. I think especially in a day and age where everybody wants to do the same thing and everyone wants to look the same way, whenever someone has something signature about them, it's so special. And I think it's definitely worth spending time and energy exploring to find that signature something for you that you resonate with. Moving on, makeup. Makeup and skincare I would put under the same thing. Last year, I've had the most excruciating breakout that I've ever had in my whole life. I don't know where it came from, but I had cystic hormonal acne all over my face, mainly around my mouth. I've never had acne before, so this was something very new to me, and I had no idea what to do with it. At the time, my self-esteem was very, very delicate, so I had a very hard time accepting that phase of myself, I think. Just not doing well. Not to say that the skin was the root of the evil. I was definitely doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. I digress. I never really had to spend a lot of money on skincare because I've been very fortunate in having average to pretty good looking skin most of my life. This was until I moved to Japan. Up until then, I grew up in Indonesia, a very humid country. I then went to New Zealand, and then I came here. Japan just did something to my skin to anger it in a way that it has never been angered before. And this kind of forced me to try different products. I think I went through 3 different toners and 3 different essences and heaps of different moisturizers and treatments to lead me to finding the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5. This is the only skincare item I use now. And not to toot my own horn, but I feel like my skin looks pretty good now. You couldn't tell. Okay, I have a little breakout here. I don't know what this is from. She's been here for a while, but I spent so much money, so much time to find this one product that works for my face. If I could, I want to take back that time and that money and everything I spent that actually got me to the product that I now love. But I wouldn't have the knowledge or the experience that I now possess if I didn't actually go through the exploration phase. If I didn't try different products and I kept using what I did, I don't think I would have gotten to this point with my skin. So all that to say, do I wish I never had to go through it? Yes. But am I grateful that I did? Absolutely. I never grew up being pretty. Now, I say this with a bit of hesitation because I think it's weird to call a kid pretty or even beautiful or anything. It's one thing to, say like, oh, that kid's gonna grow up beautiful, and then saying, okay, that kid is beautiful. I just think it's kind of weird. Might be, too deep. Might just be overanalyzing things, but that's just my opinion. I was always the weird kid. I was never the kid that the boys liked. I was never the super popular one. I was never the most gorgeous person in the room. I was, however, the weirdest kid in the room. And so I never had being pretty in the forefront of my mind of what makes me attractive to other people as a friend. People always usually spoke to me because I was funny or because I had something to say or I was good at listening or whatever it was, or I was kind of weird. That was the reason behind them speaking to me, in my opinion. It was never because I was the most gorgina person in the room. So I never paid much attention to what I was wearing or what makeup I applied to my face or what I looked like. I would say I was maybe like just an average looking person. If I was walking past, nobody's gonna look back at me. I had a boyfriend, but I didn't have men lining up to, have my Snapchat or whatever. And I was fine. That's all I knew. I had no complaints. Until I met my best friend. She is patient 001 of a Japanese ghetto. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a baddie. We met at a dance class because she was Japanese. I went up to her being like, "Are you Nihonjin?" And she was like, "Oh my god, yes." Ever since then, she's been my ride or die. She's taken care of me. She's has my back. Whatever, this is not a love letter to my best friend, but if you're watching, Erica, love you down, girl. Just being around her has skyrocketed my bishki. I don't know what that is in English. I guess beauty consciousness. Listening to her say, oh yeah, my next lash appointment, or going with her to buy a new foundation, or her colored contacts, or whatever. Just being around that kind of makes you more conscious of what it takes to look like her, and consciously and subconsciously implements the idea of, maybe I should start exploring. And I'm so glad I did, because not to toot my own horn again, but I have never been so confident in the way that I look, and I have also never felt more beautiful than the way that I do now. Could I have gotten to this feeling state without taking the exploration? Probably, maybe. I'm so glad that I did, because I now know what works for my face. I now know what I like. I can now put people onto things if they have the same concerns or facial features as me. I would not have been able to get to this level of baddie if it weren't for exploration or my best friend. If you're like me and never considered yourself to be the baddie, I promise you, it's a completely viable way of life. I'm not going to say being a baddie is a way of life. I'm just saying it's absolutely possible to look like an entirely different person, love yourself regardless, but just try something new, and you might enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy looking the way that I do now. Did I not enjoy the way that I looked earlier? No, I didn't know anything else. But now that I'm here, I am very grateful that I am here. I've never really had luscious lashes. My eyelashes were never the thing that I would pride myself most on my face. I've always had very stubborn Asian downward facing eyelashes, so within my exploration, I've tried lash extensions, I've tried strip lashes, I've tried lash lifts, lash tints, cluster lashes, tubing mascaras, all of that. With my exploration, I have found that lash extensions, although I love the way that it looks, it's not good for you. Like, yes, you will look fab if you go to the right place, but not only are they damaging your eyelashes, they're also damaging your wallet a lot because it's expensive. So I spent maybe like a year or two in and out of lash salons until I kind of had to take time off because my lashes were dying at an alarming rate, which led me to lash lifts. I chronically believe that I can do absolutely anything, that I can possess any skill that I put my mind to. Because of that, I do my own nails, I do my own eyebrows, I give myself my own haircuts, colors, lash lifts, lash clusters, laser hair removal, you name it, I think that I could do it by myself. So when I saw a very affordable option to do lash lifts at home, I did not have a single thought but to buy it. 3 days later, it shows up at my door, and I give it a go. It looked pretty good, to be honest. Like, my eyelashes were turned upwards. When I put mascara on, it looked fabulous. So since then, I became a fan of lash lifts. But when I came to Osaka and I didn't have my equipment with me, I had to go to a salon to get it done. Although the service was more expensive than it would be to do it by myself, the result was incomparable. My eyelashes were pointing to the gods. They were pointing to the sky. My eyelashes looked like it could change lives. And when I put mascara on, I turned into a camel, actually. I was questioning myself, was I a camel in my last life? I saw eyelashes that I never thought I had. And since then, I have been the biggest advocate for lash lifts and tubing mascara. My favorite tubing mascara is the Deja Vu Fiber Wig, if you want to check it out. Very affordable, very good, very high performing. And the combo that I love and adore now and serve daily is if you're watching the video version, I'll show you right now, the cat eye cluster eyelashes on the outer ends, lash lift and mascara on the inner ends. This lasts me 2-3 days, and because I don't have to take it off every single day, I'm, less likely to pull out an eyelash, and I can sleep in it. I wake up looking fab. Wonderful. Would I have known of this combo if I didn't explore every option? No. And so I'm very grateful that I did. Lastly, this kind of still is under the topic of exploration, but finding a uniform has completely changed my daily routine and has enhanced my life greatly. Like, Steve Jobs was onto something when he said something about decision fatigue. I feel as though now, with TikTok and Instagram, we see people looking fly all the time. And so we assume that that's what they look like every single day, when in reality, they only record the times that they look fly and share it. And so that's what you see. So you don't see the days in between. As a former kind of fashion influencer, I'm here to tell you that it's not realistic. It's not realistic for you as a consumer to be serving a look every single day, because the creators themselves are not doing that either. You're not seeing the in-between house outfits. You're not seeing the in-between run errands outfits. They're not giving you low-rise jeans and a corset top and a bandana and perfect hair every single day, because that's not realistic. And I think this is so important for me to share, especially, again, because I have a younger audience that are probably consuming a lot of media. It's fine to wear basic things. It's fine to wear the same things every single day, because that's realistic. If that's what you can afford and that's what you're fine with, you absolutely do not have to buy a new outfit every single day. You absolutely do not need to wear something different every single day. I, as a matter of fact, wear the same thing or the same 3 outfits 90% of the time. Now, before we talked about what does Sherry smell like. If you've ever wondered what does Sherry look like on an everyday basis, she is probably wearing the Lululemon Define jacket in either black, gray, or white with some suit pant like this. This is from, I actually don't remember, but it's like a hakama style pant that my mother so kindly tailored for me, or a pair of baggy gray jeans, or a pair of bootcut black skinny jeans. That is all I wear 90% of the time. And at first, it took me some getting used to, wearing the same thing every day. I was definitely worried about what other people thought, especially the ones that I saw often. But when I realized literally nobody cares, and the ease that comes with wearing the same thing every day, the stress that it took away from me was higher value than whatever fear that I had with wearing the same thing every day. What led me to my uniform was actually a bit of a story. As I've expressed earlier, I do not like spending money on non-exciting things. So for me to invest the money that I did into my uniform was quite painful. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw Lululemon Define jacket on TikTok, I was blown away with the artistry and the craftsmanship that was the Define jacket. It looked fabulous on everyone that was wearing it, and so I thought to get one for myself. Until I looked at the price point, I was taken back by the extra zero that I saw in my shopping cart. So, I took a second, I thought about it, until I confided in my friend about it. She told me she has it. She gave me a try on, and she looked absolutely stunning. I saw another person wearing it in the streets. She looked absolutely stunning. So then I went into the Lululemon store, tried it on. I looked absolutely stunning and knew I had to buy it. So I took a couple weeks to save up, and I bought my first Lululemon Define jacket. It's just perfect for me and my lifestyle because it's very high quality. I like that. It's very sleek. I like that. It's black. I like that. I usually just wear black. It's warm enough. It's classy. It has thumb holes. I love a thumb hole. It has pockets. It shapes my body nicely. It's proportionate to my body. It was just the perfect item to make into my uniform, and I'm so grateful that I did, because it has definitely exceeded in the value that it brings to my life in comparison to the time and energy I spent to earn the money that I did to buy that product. And I now have 3 of them that I wear in rotation every week. So if you ever want to look like me and smell like me, if you want to be my doppelganger, this is your tutorial. But this all roots itself in my love for signature things, signature looks, and how I admire people, and how my admiration for people that have these things have leaked into my personal taste and my personal life. Lastly, this one's not too exciting, I'm not gonna lie. And you might think that I sound like your mom when I say this, but courses and education is, yes, expensive, but so worth it. Now, I'm not saying stay in school, get that degree, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I completely condone that, and I completely support the idea of, getting a degree if it enhances your life and your career. But I'm more so speaking about completely immersing yourself in whatever interests you. If you're interested in pottery, learning everything that is to know about pottery. If you're into music, learning everything that there is to know with music. It's probably impossible to know everything about a certain topic, but just the joy of learning things, the joy of fostering that information will bring you a whole nother realm of meaning to your life. Now, I'm not saying this is definite, I'm just saying from my experience. Also, when you just know things about a niche topic, or any topic, if you know enough about it, enhances every conversation that you have with anyone. Small talk is not going to be small anymore. And small talk is not going to be boring, because everyone's going to be so captivated about how much you know about this certain topic, whether it be about shovels or whether it be about the current social climate. Education and knowledge is so fun. Like, I know school and exams and things might have ruined it for you, but when you rediscover learning in your adulthood and you approach it from an angle where it's like you're collecting little tidbits to put into your brain, so that when you're at a party, it's like a party trick, your knowledge is actually a party trick. There you go, a new perspective to look at it. But You'll also notice that you'll start surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and you'll attract people that you resonate with more the more you dive into your passions. And when you're around people that get the hype around something that you love so much, like, I promise you, you'll have so much fun, and you'll start to resonate with your life. I don't know if you've ever had this, but I've definitely had moments where I was going about my day-to-day life and I did not resonate with what I was doing. I felt like a soul trapped into another person's body and another person's life. And when I look at myself in a third person's perspective, it's like, who is she? What is she doing? That's not me. I don't even like that. Why am I doing that? And I feel like the thing that helped me got out of it was completely submerging myself in learning what I can about my passions and following that and going to events and meeting people that align with the same thing has definitely guided me in the right direction. And I've never felt more fulfilled in my career and my personal life and all of that than I am right now. And the beauty is that your passions and your interests change all the time. So it's like an endless hobby for your life. And if my spiel hasn't convinced you to start learning about your passions or reading a book, actually, I want to speak about that because nobody actually takes the time to learn something now because we're so consumed in media and short form content. Just by reading a book or a news article, I promise you'll have something more interesting to talk about at a party compared to 80% of the people there, depending on the party. But I'm just saying, it's a cool party trick, okay? Because nobody reads anymore. But as I was saying, if I haven't convinced you, let a wise quote from my iconic mother change your mind. She said, "Anybody can steal your material possessions, but the knowledge inside your mind is something nobody can ever take from you. So invest in it." She ate with that. If you're watching this in the video format, this used to be a hot beverage, but at the end of the video, it has now turned into ice cold. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the video. Today was something a little different. I feel like it's more laid back. It's more relaxed. I feel like usually I'm more, in your face. But if you enjoyed this and want more videos like this, you're gonna have to let me know. So you can either DM me or comment down on this podcast or this YouTube video, whatever platform that you're watching this on. If you enjoyed this podcast and if you made it this far, first of all, thank you so much. You are the realest of the real. And let me know that you made it to this point with like a big red heart in the comments so I can notice you and I can properly thank you in the comment section. As always, my socials are down below in the description. I will see you next Tuesday or next Friday, depending on whenever you watch this podcast. I heard that when you download this podcast, it helps me a bunch. So, if you have the time and the storage, I would greatly appreciate if you could do that. I love you. This was Why So Serious. I'll see you soon. Bye!